to another live coaching. I am broadcasting from Cape Town, and yeah, we've been having a lot of fun here. This house isn't the best for live streaming, but I'm moving to a different house later this week or next week, this coming week, and it should be better for the live streaming. So pardon all of this, bad sound, bad light, etc., etc. Once I have a good setup, we're also going to do the year planning workshop. So look out for that. But otherwise, Cape Town has been fun. It was hot though. It was really hot the last few days. Like last night, it was so hot. I was in Stellenbosch with visiting friends, and it was so hot that I took a towel from the bathroom and got it damp and used that as my blanket in the evening. It was so hot. I was struggling with the heat, but it was a dry heat, so a bit of moisture really helped. Stellenbosch was my first time there. It was nice. I don't have to go back in my life. I'm happy to be back in Cape Town, but it was nice. It was interesting. We visited a wine farm, had a picnic on a wine farm, and spent some time with friends, which was nice. It's nice. Now that we're based more in Hawaii, there are friends of ours who are more from Europe, whom we don't see so much, and Cape Town is a nice middle ground. We got Jake in the chat and Greg in the chat. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Graham as well. Graham, also in Cape Town, says weather has been odd. Yeah, I was just saying it was so hot in Stellenbosch last night. Like, it was crazy. I thought I was not going to be able to sleep. And today I went to the beach. I ended up not even sailing. I heard that a lot of people went to Cape Point and it didn't happen. Graham, did you get on the water today? If so, where? And what do you think about the forecast for the next week? I saw some people were saying that Glencairn could be good. Some people were saying to go up the East Coast and try to get some spots because there's going to be the right wind and big swell to get some of the good starboard tack spots on the East Coast. We got York in the chat. No surf this week. We got Suna as well. Good evening to this kingdom of Denmark. Suna, I think about you a lot every time the news headlines happen, and I really hope you are good. We got Quinton as well. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's check some of the action in the group. So here's a wave from me. This is my favorite spot to windsurf in Cape Town, and this. Can you guys see it? Yeah. So this is my favorite spot in Cape Town, and it's not that it's always the best. It's kind of heavy. It can be beautiful like this, and it has a nice punch. The wave has a nice punch. There are rocks in the inside that make it intimidating, so it's never crowded. And yeah, it always feels like an adventure for me. So I love sailing Misty Cliffs. It doesn't always work. I like it. This is with starboard tack wind. It also works with port tack wind. But you can see the wave has a nice shape. I struggled this session. This board is a really fun board, but it's a wider, bigger volume board, not made for this kind of bouncy down the line, heavy wind, big wave conditions. And so I was a little bit with the wrong equipment for this particular day. I've since set up a smaller board should we get more days like this. But lots of fun. And we still have a couple spots left for the Cape Town Masterclass. So if you want to apply, you can just click on the form link here, and I'll post it in the group again. So if you want to apply for the Cape Town Masterclass, January 24th on. All right, what's going on in the chat? We got Ragnar said 5 and lots of snow here, unfortunately. Graham says Glencairn was good today. Ooh, that's good to know. I wasn't even thinking of it. Roman said he was in Cabo Verde with great conditions. especially the last 2 days. Nice. Jake has been working on Fast Tech Secrets. Fast Tech Secrets is one of the best ways to improve your techs. Graham's asking if I was writing a Flicka. Yeah, I've got a Flicka, a few other boards. Yeah, just trying some new things. I've been on the same shapes for so long. I want to try some new things. Some of those are Flickas, and yeah, I really like the Flickas. I'm going to do more reports about the boards I've been writing. All right, question. First up from Jake. Has anyone tried cold water exposure training for hands and feet to try to improve comfort during winter sailing? This is a good question, and it's one that I don't have an answer to. A lot of the people in the chat here, Jorg, Suna, Ragnar, have a lot of experience with cold water sailing. Something that Suna has mentioned works really well is to put your hands in ice water before the session for a few minutes, or you could just do it in the water. But if that's hard to do, just in some like ice water, and you do it sooner, you let us know in the chat maybe how long to do it for. I don't remember the exact protocol, but you have your hands in the ice water for something like 30 seconds, and then you take them out again. And then when you go in the water, you don't have that pain and stiffness. So you do a little bit of exposure before the session to alleviate the pain and discomfort that happens during the session. But in terms of just exposure therapy, it's not something I've heard about, but doesn't mean it's not happening. And it doesn't mean also, if no one's done it, doesn't mean that it's not a good idea. So maybe it's interesting to try. Max wants to know if there are any Italian windsurfers in the group, wants to know about windsurfing there. Most of the windsurfing that we see is from Sardinia, but there's windsurfing all over Italy. I think it's just a question of how consistent it is. Like I said, most of the stuff we see is from Sardinia, but there's consistent windsurfing in Sicily. There's consistent windsurfing all over. I see amazing footage from around Rome area. So there's a lot of windsurfing in Italy. I think the issue is more the consistency. Ragnar is going to Western Australia, and he's looking to know about gear rental. That's not something I have experience with. I know that few of our community members are there right now. Joe Vernon, for example, is there. So hopefully you figure something out. Ragnar, if you don't, let me know, and I'll reach out to my contacts there. But I think the other people in the community will have more insight than I have. Dontavius has been measuring the play in his extension. Some really interesting discussion here about extension play. I don't even use Euro pins. I use the US Cup. So my own perspective on this is different, is warped. Not my perspective, but I just don't have the experience with the European bases, the pin bases, because I use the US Cup. But this is really interesting. Here, Costas shows some sleeves that he makes to go inside his worn extensions. So I thought this was really interesting. So the extension gets worn, and then he machines a sleeve to go in. I'm not sure exactly what we're seeing here, but super interesting. So he's using polyethylene. Yeah, really interesting about working on his own extensions and bases. Like I said before, I use the Euro Cup. So, I mean, not Euro Cup. I use the US Cup. So I don't have these issues, but it's definitely interesting to be aware of, like how much play there is and everything. Jake is saying that he's following some cold water exposure training protocols for his hands this winter and will report back. Awesome. And Suna followed up. So he says, get your hands nice and cold, then get the blood running in them until they burn, hurt. And so if you do that before your session, you'll have a much more productive session, or a much productive is the wrong word. You'll have a less painful session. We've got some new members. Welcome everyone who joined. And here's another clip from Cape Town. This is from Platboom on a Starboard Tech day. So it's the other side of beach from where we normally see it. And I've got some more footage from this day that I'm going to post. This was filmed by group member Gianluca, who was also sailing that day. And yeah, I love the Starboard Tech sailing we get in Cape Town. It's mostly Port Tech, but we also get some Starboard Tech. And here we've got some goals. Stefan's got some goals. Like I said, I want to do your goals, but I need to get set up. I'm in South Africa. I'm traveling. This house isn't well set up for doing a workshop, and I'm moving to a different house this week. We'll see if that's better. And then I want to do a goal planning workshop for the year planning. Meanwhile, we've got Stefan with some goals. He wants to try ice boarding. He wants to get over 30 sessions in this year and 20 wing foil sessions, which is about a 50% increase for the windsurfing sessions, which big goal. He wants to get some foiling jibes, over 10 planing jibes, over 10 duck jibes, 10 fast tacks. So these, I think, are good goals. Obviously, the more time you get on the water, the easier those are going to be. But especially with the fast tacks, you can do a lot of work at home. Like if you're in Fast Tack Secrets, you know that I'm a big fan of doing the footwork exercises. 5 wave sessions, 3 clean jumps, long jumps. Yeah, I think these are good goals. This is a lot of goals, and so this can be hard to keep track of. But if you have a way to keep track of it, I think these goals are solid. And these are mainly technical goals. You can also have goals in windsurfing that are travel goals or competition goals. You know, it could be like a goal to compete in one of your local amateur events, or to go on a trip somewhere and windsurf a new spot. So the goals don't have to be technical. It could be a goal to windsurf every month of the year. It could be to, do a crossing, to windsurf across a channel, or some kind of long distance. So or like shoot a gap, through rocks. So the goals don't have to be technical. Suna says, for general cold water training, he has an ice tub on his porch that he sits in a couple of times a week, 2-minute sessions. So Suna, are you combining that with breathing exercises like the Wim Hof breathing, or are you just sitting in the cold water? What does it actually look like? Very interesting. I don't regularly do cold baths, cold plunges, but when I do, I feel great afterwards. So I'm definitely curious about them. It's not something that I felt compelled to do super regularly, but in my experience, when I have done the cold plunges, I feel really good and energized. Um, so energy is great that you get from them. I'm getting a note that my connection's not great. Like I said, this house isn't the best for streaming. As always with the admin stuff, if you are interested in leveling up your windsurfing, go to windsurfingmasterclass.com. There's going to be some new courses that get set up this year, but for now, there's Learn to Loop, Fast Tech Secrets, Mindset Secrets, the Shove It course. And here also, if you want first dibs for the in-person masterclasses, go here and fill out the Where Do You Want to Go survey. This survey is going to come down at the end of this month, and it's going to be replaced with the individual applications. But the thing is the people who filled out this survey get first dibs. So a lot of the courses are going to be pretty much sold out. So if you want first dibs for one of the in-person masterclasses, fill out this survey. If you want to join Cape Town's happening in a couple weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, for the other ones, put where you want to go and then you'll get reached out to directly. All right, I think we've caught up with everything that's posted. It's a little bit slow week, winter time. People are not on the water as much. We watched this ice board session, and so there's less footage. I'm getting some footage though in Cape Town, so I'm going to be posting a little bit more in the group, and so look out for that. And we will see you next week, Sunday. If you have questions that they don't have to be related to your current windsurfing, I know if it's cold, it's snowing, there's a lot of snow in Europe, you might not be getting on the water. But if you have questions about gear, about getting ready for the year, about training, it doesn't have to be technical. It doesn't have to relate to what's happening this week with your windsurfing. It could be something that you've always wanted to ask, or that you've been pondering recently, or something that you're just looking forward to in 2026 windsurfing wise. That's something you can post in the group, and we can discuss it next week, Sunday. Thank you all for showing up. I look forward to seeing you next week and what you post in the group. Greg says he was skiing around New Year, icy, even in Britain. Yeah, I think there's a lot of other complementary sports that people get into around this time of year. Maybe it's skiing, maybe it's mountain biking, which is maybe an interesting topic in the group. I know that we're a windsurfing group, but it's interesting to see what you are doing when you're not windsurfing, when there isn't wind, when the season is not, is not friendly for windsurfing conditions. Are you skiing? Are you mountain biking? Are you cozy at home with Netflix on? What are you doing? Or are you following the wind, a kind of endless summer? I want to know. These are great topics for the group. I'm going to post that in the group. That's a good question for the group. So that'll be our discussion for the week. All right. I am going to sign off. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I hope it's windy and not too cold, and you can get on the water. And otherwise, join us in the group, and you can live out all your windsurfing dreams virtually.